in Crossfire every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 10 a.m. UK on Peace TV.
Peace TV English, the solution for humanity.
He created the universe, beyond the heavens and the earth. The ever-living, He is the first. He's the owner of mercy. He sent His messengers to warn His creatures of the grave danger of worshiping other than Allah. There is none greater.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. I greet you, my dear audience, in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all. In the past few episodes, we were discussing the great scientific precision by which the glorious Quran describes the preparation of the earth to be an inhabitable planet, and expressing the great bounties of Allah on us human beings and all the living beings on the surface of that planet for the great systematic preparation of the earth to be a suitable planet for life living on its surface. And we said out of these great preparations is the descent of iron. And we mentioned that the fact that the glorious Quran contains a whole chapter entitled Al-Hadid, iron, the chapter on iron. And this is the only element we know of out of 100 and something elements we know that was chosen to name a Quranic chapter after its name. And in this chapter, the Quran emphasizes the fact that all the iron in our earth was actually sent down from outer space. And recent astronomical discoveries have proved the extraterrestrial origin not only in our earth, but in all our solar system. All the iron in our solar system is actually generated in massive supergiant stars outside our solar system. And the process of creating iron in the course of these supergiant stars is actually an endothermic process that exhausts the energy of the star. So it explodes and the iron is scattered in outer space, and Allah will drop it on whatever heavenly body He likes to drop it on with the right proportion. So our earth started by a heap of ash containing nothing heavier than aluminum silicon. Then it was bombarded by massive quantities of iron in exactly the same way we are receiving iron meteorites today. So this was the very first step in preparing the earth to be an inhabitable planet. Then iron, stopping at the core of the earth, started to melt and to fuse that heap of ash and segregate it into 7 distinctive earths. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is quoted to have said من ظلم قيد شبر من هذه الأرض طوبقه يوم القيامة من 7 أرضين. Whoever would snatch a hand length of this land unduly will be surrounded by 7 equals of it from the 7 earths on the day of judgment. And this was probably the very first indication that the 7 earths are actually included within our earth. This earth was covered by water completely after the descent of iron on it. Its atmosphere and its hydrosphere were created and started wobbling despite the massive amount of iron in its core. And to stabilize it more, especially the outer rocky layer of it, Allah threw mountains on top of this land, and the creation of mountains was the second important event in preparing our planet to be an inhabitable planet. The third important point is the chain of fault lines that encircle the earth completely in exactly the same way the welding of a tennis ball would look like. These fault lines are in tens of thousands of kilometers long and range between 65 and 150 kilometers in depth, are actually a safety valve for the earth to release the excessive energies generated by radioactive material within the earth. These 3 steps were very important steps in preparing the earth to be an inhabitable planet. Of course, Allah is capable of ordering things to be. It will be. It will take place. Allah is the creator of time and space. Neither time nor space can delimit his order. So Allah created in successive stages so that we human beings can understand the laws of this universe, the laws of the cosmos, and can use it to enhance life on the surface of our planet as part and parcel of our message on the surface of that planet. Of course, the earth is mentioned in the Quran in 462 places, and every single of these places is actually a scientific fact by itself that can stand alone, as well as with the others, as a living testimony to the divine nature of the glorious Quran and the correct prophethood of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Because of this, the Quran says, وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُوقِنِينَ. And in the earth are signs for those who truly believe, people who can reason that this vast, immense, orderly universe and everything that's in it cannot be the product of an accident or a chance, but it is the product of the order of a great being who created everything with his knowledge, wisdom, and might. So really, we don't have time to speak about every single one of these verses, but enough to mention that every aspect of the earth is a testimony by itself to the knowledge, might, and wisdom of the Creator. The size of the earth, the mass of the earth, the composition of the atmosphere, the physical properties of water, or what we call the hydrosphere, the composition of the lithosphere, and the inner composition of the earth itself, the creation of life, plants, animals, and humans. All these actually, or every single one of these facets is enough to testify to the might, knowledge, and wisdom of the Creator, to testify to the fact that this vast, immense, orderly universe cannot be the product of an accident or a chance. It is the product of very precise planning, well-controlled, successive processes. And as I said earlier, Allah is capable of ordering things to be, and it will be. But through His wisdom, all glory be to Him, He created everything in rational steps so that we human beings can understand the laws of this cosmos and use what we can understand of these laws to construct life on the surface of that planet and make it as rich as possible, as pleasant as possible, as fair as possible, as human as possible. Then Allah did not leave this creation idle. Actually, the earth is alive. The earth is not a dead body. It is an alive entity. We see the rock cycle through volcanic activities, through metamorphism, through igneous intrusions. So the rocks are being generated and changed all the time. We see how Allah has pushed out all the water on the surface of that planet from within the earth. And this is a fact that was not discovered by man until probably the end of the 19th century or the beginning of the 20th century. The earth is one of the richest planets. It actually is the richest planet we know of in water. So much so that scientists describe it as the blue planet or the watery planet. And scientists wondered, where did that immense quantity of water has come from? Allah has bestowed our planet with 1,400 million cubic kilometers of water. Where did this immense quantity of water come from? Many hypotheses have been put forward, but they all collapsed. And only towards the end of the 20th century, volcanologists came to understand that water vapor comes in immense quantities from volcanic eruptions. Some of the volcanoes actually erupt water vapor with great amounts amidst the vapors coming out with the magma. Some of these volcanoes have more than 70% of the gaseous emanations coming through it in the form of water vapor. And by a simple calculation, how many volcanic vents we have on the surface of our planet, how often do vents erupt, they came to exactly the same figure, 1,400 million cubic kilometers of water. So it has been proven that all the water on the surface of our planet was actually emanated from within the earth. And here we can see in the Quranic statement, وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا أَخْرَجَ مِنْهَا مَاءَهَا وَمَرْعَاهَا. And the earth, after that, the earth, Allah has expanded. And the earth here means the outer continental cover. And this has been expanded from a single volcanic island. And the earth, after that, he has expanded it. And أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها. He, meaning Allah, has expelled from within it all its water and its pasture. And we'll come to a short break, and we'll meet again after this short break. And until we meet, I would like to thank you for listening and greet you in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Where truth is hidden, misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth, and who has the courage to expose it? Because it's your right to know the truth.
Watch truth prevail and lies perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik. Every Sunday to Friday at 9 p.m. and repeat telecast at 7:30 a.m. UK on Peace TV.
Welcome back after this short break, my dear audience, and I greet you again in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all. We were discussing the great bounty of Allah, all glory be to Him, which He has bestowed on our planet, the Earth, by the immense quantity of water He has given. 1,400 million cubic kilometers of water that was all gushed from within the Earth through volcanic activity. And this immense quantity of water, if it remained stagnant on the surface of our planet, it would have rotted in no time. It would have been absolutely useless as a source or a medium for life. Because of this, Allah, through His mercy, wisdom, and knowledge, has ordered the sun to evaporate a certain quantity of this earthly water in the form of water vapor. And then He would send wind to carry this water vapor to constitute clouds. And not all clouds are capable of descending water. So Allah sends other winds that carry what we call condensation nuclei in the form of dust particles, minute dust particles, or minute particles of anything else. And these actually inoculate the clouds and become means of condensing water from the cloud. The tiny little drops of water in the normal cloud would condense into larger droplets of water that can come down as rain by the will of the Creator in the quantity and the amount and the time He decides. And we call this the water cycle around the Earth, or the hydrogeological cycle. This cycle of water around the Earth in itself is an enough testimony to prove to every rational mind that this is not the product of an accident or a chance or randomness. These are the product of very, very careful planning. That if this planning would lose part of its wisdom, nothing could exist on the surface of that planet, or the whole planet would never have existed. Annually, we have 600,000 cubic kilometers of water evaporated from the surface of our globe. The bulk of this water is evaporated from seas and oceans. Around 500,000 cubic kilometers are evaporated from seas and oceans. And around 100,000 cubic kilometers are evaporated from land masses, from rivers, lakes, freshwater lakes, ponds, the breathing of humans, animals, sweating of humans and animals, all the products of the living activities. And of course, this water is in tiny specks that can never come down as rain. So Allah sends wind to carry this water vapor, constituting clouds. And not every cloud is capable of descending rain. So Allah would send other winds with what we call the condensation nuclei, specks of solid particles or of anything else, smoke, dust, and the like. And these would constitute the condensation nuclei in a cloud. They inoculate the normal cloud to make it a rainy cloud. From this cloud, Allah will drop rain wherever He decides, in the quantities He decides, at the time He decides, or glory be to Him. So these 600,000 cubic kilometers of evaporated water comes back to Earth, drop by drop, but with completely new distribution according to the will of the Creator. Because water is one of the great bounties of Allah. Without water, life could never have existed on the surface of that planet. When the rain comes, Allah bestows the earth, meaning the land masses, where we live, where animals and plants exist, Allah gives us more than what has been evaporated from the land masses. From the land masses, only 100,000 cubic kilometers of water is evaporated. When rain comes, we have annually 165,000 cubic kilometers of water. This excess 65 cubic kilometers of water, as a gift from Allah, or glory be to Him, play a very important role on the surface of our planet, constituting rivers and ravines and freshwater lakes, breaking rocks, forming soils, concentrating mineral deposits, of course, watering plants, animals, and humans, giving our atmosphere a certain degree of suitable humidity. Some of it can penetrate the soil and form groundwater storage, and the rest flows back to the sea in exactly the same amount that was taken from the percentage of the sea. From the sea, we have 500,000 kilometers evaporated. Rain comes on top of the seas and oceans in 435,000 cubic kilometers, with less 65,000 kilometers, which Allah has given it to us, humans, animals, and plants, on the surface of the continental masses. They play their important role and then flow back to seas and oceans. This wonderful water cycle is an enough testimony to prove to every sane person that the different processes on the surface of our planet cannot be the product of an accident or a chance, but the result of very, very careful planning, very, very wise planning, very, very kind planning by Allah, all glory be to Him. The life cycle, if we imagine that we have 7 billion human beings today living on the surface of that planet, and of course we have several billions of human beings that lived and died from the time of Adam and Eve, may Allah be pleased with them both, until our time. And if we imagine that these hundreds of billions of men and women came to being from a single couple, Adam and Eve, may Allah be pleased with them both. This is a miracle that cannot be overlooked by any sane mind. This in itself, from a single genetic pool, Allah will unfold these billions of individuals, that every one of them has got a certain genetic code that cannot be repeated in another person. And if we see in that the DNA molecule by which the genetic code is written down is exactly the same, 99% in every individual, and only with 1% variant in the DNA, Allah, all grace be to Him, can give every single human being his or her genetic code that distinguishes it from other human individuals. So this life cycle alone, as we see it in plants, in animals, in human beings, we know at least 11 million living species today, and every species represented by billions individuals, and this unfolding of life from the genetic cells is again known as the life cycle on the surface of our planet. And this is enough testimony to prove to every sane person that every event that took place on the surface of that planet and in the universe at large cannot be the product of an accident or a chance. Anyhow, I could take several episodes to speak about the wonders of creation in the earth, and because of this, Allah has stated in Surah Al-Dhariyat, chapter number 51 of the glorious Quran, verse number 20, His emphasis that in the earth are enough signs to prove to every sane person that this cannot be the product of an accident or a chance, but is the work of a great creator. The verse reads, وَفِي الْأَرْضِ آيَاتٌ لِلْمُوقِنِينَ. Verily, in the earth are signs for those who truly believe. Thank you for listening. And I wish you every happiness, inshallah, and every enjoyment of this discussion, and greet you in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all.
The children of Islamic International School. Different, outstanding, extraordinary.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
if Allah helps you, none can overcome you.
There is no God worthy of worship except Allah.
Allow the Quran to come into life. It will enlighten.
Islamic International School inculcates excellent educational goals and achievements.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
best amongst you is the one who learns the Quran and imparts its knowledge to others.
Islam will enter every.
For the best in this world as well as hereafter.
This book is answering all your problems.
The glorious Quran is the solution of problems of humanity.
Watch Khadija Sayyed, Yusuf Serran, Ayman Ansari, Ahmad Soratia, Nabiha Khan, Naif Ansari, Zahra Patanwala, Arsh Zagare, Ghazi Chauhan, and Farid Naik.
Allah is giving us an opportunity to do a prophet's job and to earn a prophet's reward.
Watch Dais of the Islamic International School speak on challenging topics in Promising Generation every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 10:30 a.m. UK on Peace TV. The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading His message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK, B151TH. Pound account number 011-32301. IBAN GB49ARAY 30008301 Sort code 300083. Swift BIC code ARAY GB22. Please confirm your contribution at support@peacetv.tv.
Support Peace TV, the solution for humanity.